안녕하세요, 안차키입니다. Good of you to join this edition of Let's Speak Korean. And here with us to help us learn the language is 지승현 선생님. 안녕하세요, 선생님.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요, 지승현입니다. 다시 만나서 반갑습니다. We have another useful and fun lesson for you, so stay with us.
In our last lesson, we learned how to add the suffix 은 or the consonant 니은 to adjective stems to modify the nouns. Let's get a quick review now. 선생님, 어떤 날씨를 좋아해요?
저는 따뜻한 날씨를 좋아해요. 안차키 씨는 어떤 날씨를 좋아해요?
Well, I have to admit, I like rainy days if they don't drag on for too long.
Really? That's unusual. Most people don't like rain days, you know?
I realize that. All right then, let's turn to what is in this lesson. This time we're going to learn how to use verbs to modify nouns in the present tense. Let's go to the clip first.
민욱 씨, 여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요?
제 여동생이에요.
웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
네, 할머니예요.
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
제 여동생이 오네요.
Michael is flipping through Minuk's family album. He points to a smiling woman in the picture and he asks who she is. He says she has a nice smile. He keeps staring at the picture and he keeps asking who she is. At that moment, Minuk's sister comes along and it seems that Michael is interested in her. All right then, let's get a check of the expressions in this lesson. We're going to learn how to use verbs in the present tense to modify nouns. All we have to do is add the word 는 to the verb stem. Why don't we begin by practicing some basic verbs that we will need to learn the expressions. Please listen to 선생님.
예쁘게 웃다. 예쁘게 웃다. 사진을 찍다. 사진을 찍다. 음악을 듣다. 음악을 듣다. 테니스를 치다. 테니스를 치다.
Let's watch the clip to find out how verbs are used to modify the nouns.
여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요? 웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
Michael points to a smiling woman in the photograph and he wants to know who she is. How did he phrase the question?
여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요?
And Michael also says that he thinks Minuk's sister is very pretty. How did he say this?
웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
After that, he points to the woman next to Minuk's sister and asks if she is Minuk's grandmother.
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
Michael looks out the window, sees a person approaching, and he wants to know who that person is. Now, what was the expression he used?
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
We came across the words 웃는, 있는 and 오는 in the conversation. Now, these are very similar to the forms, the adjectives that we use to modify the nouns in our last lesson. But there is a big difference in how they are formed. Now, 선생님, could you tell us more about the difference?
Sure. In our last lesson, we learned how to modify the nouns with adjectives, right? But this time, we are dealing with verbs to modify nouns.
But the suffix that we add on to the verb stem seems to be similar.
Right, it seems very similar, but that's not the case. We attach either un or the letter niun to the adjective stem. But when you use verbs to modify nouns, all we have to do is attach the suffix nun to the stem.
Is it different depending on whether the stem ends in a consonant or a vowel sound?
No, it's the same in the both cases. All you have to do is add the word nun to the stem. The only irregularity you have to remember is for words that end in 있다, meaning to have. Words like 재미있다 and 있다 may be adjectives, but just add the word nun to the stem in the case for verbs.
Now then, let's practice attaching the suffix 는 to some verb stems. Please repeat along.
웃다, 웃는, 웃는. 찍다, 찍는, 찍는. 듣다, 듣는, 듣는. 치다, 치는, 치는.
Don't forget, all we have to do is add the suffix 는 to the verb stem. All right, then we'll practice asking and answering some questions now. 저기 테니스를 치는 사람이 누구예요?
테니스를 치는 사람은 김민욱 씨예요. 마이클 씨가 누구예요?
노래하는 사람이 마이클 씨예요. 수지 씨가 누구예요?
책을 읽는 사람이 수지 씨예요.
Time for some extra expressions. 선생님, what is the expression in Korean to take photographs?
Okay, let me tell you that. It is 사진을 찍어요. 사진을 찍어요.
The expression in Korean is 사진을 찍어요. 사진 is photograph or picture in this case. Now, looking at the picture of Minuk's sister, Michael comments that she is very pretty. Now, how did he say this in Korean?
참 예쁘네요.
참 here means very, and it is used to emphasize the adjective that comes after it. Now, this is often used to mean that an action or a condition is very much a certain way. But 선생님, what is the difference between 참 예뻐요 and 참 예쁘네요?
Okay, let me explain that. The expression 참 예쁘네요 is more of the exclamation than 참 예뻐요. So, if you attach the expression 네요 to either verb or adjective stem, it makes the sentence more expressive.
I think we need to practice this also. So I guess it would be like saying it's very pretty and oh, it's so pretty, right?
Right, that's right. Okay, let's practice one more time. 참 예뻐요. 참 예뻐요. And 참 예쁘네요. 참 예쁘네요.
It's time to wrap up what we have learned in this lesson. Let's go over the expressions one by one along with the clip.
민욱 씨, 여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요?
민욱 씨, 여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요?
제 여동생이에요.
제 여동생이에요.
웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
제 여동생이 오네요.
제 여동생이 오네요.
We're going to go over the entire clip once again, so this time try to memorize the expressions.
민욱 씨, 여기 웃는 여자가 누구예요?
제 여동생이에요.
웃는 얼굴이 참 예쁘네요.
옆에 있는 사람은 할머니예요?
네, 할머니예요.
저기 오는 사람이 누구예요?
제 여동생이 오네요.
We'll focus on accurate Korean pronunciations in this section. We're taking a closer look at words that end with the 받침 리을, 히읗. We're going to learn how to pronounce them, so please listen carefully to 선생님.
일타, 일타, 달타, 달타, 끓다, 끓다.
Notice that we only hear the 리을 sound in the first syllable, and the 히읗 letter combines with the 티귿 consonant that comes after it to become a tension sound. Now, what happens when such words are followed by other consonants?
일치, 일치, 달치, 달치, 끓지, 끓지.
The consonant that follows the 히읗 sound is turned into a tension sound. Now let's find out what happens when a vowel follows the 받침. Well, in this case, the 히읗 sound becomes silent, so please listen carefully to how 선생님 pronounces the words.
잃어요, 잃어요, 달아요, 달아요, 끓어요, 끌어요.
All right, then that is all the time we have for now. So until next time, 안녕히 계세요.